Guys, we might just have the biggest news of the year. And this is, of course, a huge, massive partnership, battery swap partnership. So here's something very interesting. When NIO CEO showed off Onwell 60 to Ladrin, CEO of Xiaomi, they said something very interesting in the conversation, which was very suspicious. So the way it works was NIO CEO asked Xiaomi CEO if Xiaomi's SU7 is gonna basically destroy the Model 3. It's a Model 3 killer. And then the Onwell L60, do you think the Onwell L60 is going to be the Model Y killer? All right, and this is of course the question that NIO CEO asked Xiaomi CEO. But Xiaomi CEO did not answer with a yes or no because he can't really say yes because of the fact that Xiaomi is also going to come out with an SUV that also aims at the Model Y. Okay, of course, but that's one of the hidden agendas right there. So he said he has to go test drive it first. He said he has to go test drive the car first. And then afterwards, they had a very extensive conversation where Xiaomi CEO was persuading NIO to join in on the ecosystem of Xiaomi. Like they have basically a unified software, sort of like how Huawei has Harmony OS. Like Ladrin, he wants to have his own version of this on other vehicles as well, possibly even NIO vehicles. And he was trying to convince William Li about this. And William Li tried very hard to convince Ladrin to join in on battery swap. He talked about how the cost isn't actually going to be that much additional cost. And then on top of that, of course, you get to access all the swap stations. And of course, you can still charge if you want. So it's not going to cost them a whole lot of money. And they were deeply considering it. All right, they were deeply considering it. And apparently today, we got this confirmation from somebody in the know that Xiaomi is going to join NIO in battery swap. And this really has a profound impact, not on like the amount of cars sold or like Xiaomi is gonna like generate bonus revenue to NIO by joining in on battery swap. That's little. That's not important. The main important thing is recognition, because everybody knows Xiaomi, everybody knows Ladrin. Whatever he says is taken seriously and put into like 1,000 different videos shared online everywhere. Okay, he's like the Steve Jobs of China. Whenever Steve Jobs says something, you guys all pay attention. We all pay attention, right? So he's like the Steve Jobs of China, and by him joining in on battery swap, that is validation that battery swap is the right way to go. That is going to help out with Onvo, with Firefly, with NIO sales 100x more than if NIO were to market it themselves. All right. This is the ultimate marketing that Ladrin is doing. And NIO CEO has even said, marketing is quite expensive. All right, marketing is quite expensive. It's quite wasteful in terms of money. I mean, to place an ad, it just costs millions of dollars, and you don't know like the reception of it. Like, are people really gonna get the message, or you play that ad, or is everybody gonna be watching, or just gonna skip that ad? So even NIO CEO himself has said, whenever possible, he tries to use Ladrin's trendiness and then try to make a few videos with him. To of course get more promotion out there, and that's why he invited Ladrin to talk about Onwell 60 and all that kind of stuff. And he said this really definitely does help, and everybody sharing videos of these and that kind of stuff really does help them save a lot of money in terms of marketing. Now, how about the other guys, BBA? These guys, well, Mercedes might be forced to eventually join battery swap. That's just this case, all right? Their sales in China have plummeted so damn much, all right? They're at record level lows, sales for BBA. Porsche as well. Porsche and BBA, their sales are so damn low that, I mean, they got fights between dealerships here in China and the headquarters in Germany. That's how bad it is. So they cannot compete. These guys just cannot compete. So these guys will eventually be forced to join in on battery swap. And otherwise, I mean, they got to swallow their pride. They're losing market share. And if China does any sort of retaliatory tariffs, it's game over for them. All right. It's game over for them here in China. The thing you guys got to understand is China is a bigger market than Europe. The EU thinks that they placing tariffs on Chinese companies going to there, that's actually going to have less impact of Chinese when China places tariffs on EU cars coming into China, because they sell Volkswagen, all these guys, they sell a ton of cars here in China. All right. China is the biggest market for them. All right. After the United States. So these tariffs are going to hurt them even more. They will even be less competitive when these Chinese tariffs hit these EU companies. So their market share is already at rock bottom lows. All right. And then with these tariffs, it's going to get even lower. It's going to get even worse. All right. The only way that these BBA companies can sustain a profit is by putting the pressure on the dealerships, forcing the dealerships to take on inventory. That's why the dealerships here in China are absolutely pissed. All right, they don't want to take on inventory. They can't even sell the cars. They got to do like massive discounts, sell the cars at a massive loss. You know what they do? Some of these dealerships, they sell the car to take the money and they bail, they run. Sort of like scamming these buyers. All right, they take the money to take people buy the car. When they go to take delivery, sorry, all right, the boss ran off with the money. The car is actually property of the bank now, because the bank is owed money by that dealership. The bank is going to sell that car. It's too bad for the buyer. So that kind of shit's happening here in China, man. That's how crazy it is. It's gotten so competitive. So these guys are eventually, they gotta adapt. Otherwise, they're gonna go extinct. These BBA companies, they gotta join in on battery swap. I think Xiaomi, a lot of these guys, they don't have the balls, right, to swallow their pride and say, I want to join in on a new energy vehicle company for battery swap. They think we're the big boss here. Why should we join them, right? But they got to reflect and see the situation. The situation is very different. Here in China, they're going extinct. So Xiaomi is really going to open the gates up. Okay, Xiaomi is going to give NIO battery swap the recognition, and it's going to put battery swap into the minds of everybody. All right, it's going to let everybody know that battery swap exists. There's still a lot of people that don't know about battery swap. You go to a tier 4, tier 5 city, my wife's hometown, what the hell is a battery swap? These guys have no idea. I go to a showroom, a NIO showroom, and I try to talk to customers, and they're absolutely intrigued. They're like, whoa, what is this high-tech thing, man? So it's not common knowledge. But Xiaomi joining in battery swap, that's going to make it common knowledge, guys. All right? That's the important thing. That's the important thing you got to know about. Xiaomi is going to open the gates for battery swap, for global recognition for battery swap. That's going to benefit NIO 100-fold, way more than if NIO were to do any sort of traditional marketing.